I'm Emma.
And I'm Tracy.
And we are
Curly Seams. We're joined today by two special guests. We've got Megan. Hello, Megan. And we've got Rowan down below. Hello, Rowan.
Hey. And these are our daughters.
Our daughters.
Yep. We thought we'd make it a family affair this time, and you'd get to meet them. So, unfortunately, we are still recording separately because we are still sort of in a lockdown. Not sort of, but we are.
We are. Yes.
Yeah.
So you are in. We're in tiers at the moment. So Emma and Meg, you're tier 2.
We're 2.
2. I'm in 2, and Rowan, you're in 3 now, aren't you?
Tier 3.
Tier 3.
Tier 3.
Yeah, which means, basically it's one shorter lockdown, isn't it?
Yeah, no pubs. Gyms are still open, but no group exercise. But yeah, very strict.
Yeah. So Rowan, you're in London at the moment, aren't you? So and you've lived there for quite a few years.
I have. I've lived in London this will be coming into my 6th year in London. So I think that means that I can say I'm a Londoner as well now. I think it's 5 years, and then you're allowed to say that.
Is it 5 years? Right.
Yeah. So I think that's what I think that's what non-London people say.
Right.
But yeah, in Hackney, Dalston. So I am on a very busy main road, and there will be several sirens throughout. So you might see me popping myself on mute for that.
Yeah, the ambulances are really, really loud when they go by, and the motorbike sometimes. That's true. So Meg, you're at home at the moment, aren't you?
I'm just living at home. It's great. Mum cooks my meals for me.
Yeah. So you've not long finished university?
Yeah. So I graduated this year, which was a bit rubbish because I couldn't have a graduation ceremony or anything.
No.
But I'm just glad I'm not at uni afterwards now, because that would have been a lot worse, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, of course, I've got one at uni at the moment, and it's not very nice for him. So he's coming home today. So, and I think he's really looking forward to actually having somebody around, because he's been living in isolation basically for 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think I'd have coped well.
Yeah. So Meg and Rowan, you are about 7 years in age difference, which is about the same as you and I.
Are we 7 years in age difference?
I believe you are. Yes.
So you're 22.
Yeah.
I'm 28, so 6. Yeah.
Yeah, 6. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was thinking about that this morning. I was thinking, it's quite interesting that both the daughters are similar age gap. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and both of you have been brought up. You had your formative years were not in the UK, were they?
They were not.
No.
So where were you then, Rowan?
I was born in the UK, and then when I was about 5, we moved to California, and so lived in the Bay Area in San Jose for just shy of 3 years, Mum.
That's right, yeah.
So came back to British primary school with a very heavy sort of Bay Area accent, and was asked to just say things. That was what people would do. Can you say this? Can you say that? Why do you call rubbers erasers? And all sorts. So yeah, quite interesting. Although I think I probably lost my American accent fairly quickly.
I was going to say you must have usually.
You were a child that would pick up anybody's accent, and you were able to blend in all over the place because you could mimic people very, very easily and very quickly.
Well, because obviously my dad was in the army when I was growing up, and we moved a lot, and I always did exactly the same thing, because it was sort of like a protection thing. If you could pick up the local accent, you didn't stick out quite so much.
Right.
Totally.
You weren't quite so noticeable. So that was one of the first things you do, was pick up the local accent, so you blend in a little bit more.
Yeah. But the thing is, I even did it when I went to university in Bristol, which was a bit strange. I sort of came back saying, "All right, my lover."
That is.
Really any reason to do that at 20, is there?
Oh dear.
So Meg, were you born, because Canada was your place of
yes, I was born in Canada, but I don't ever remember having an accent, because we moved back over when I was 5.
She did most definitely. She was born in so Meg was born in Alberta in Canada, and in Medicine Hat, and yeah, we came back. No, we came back. She was too little when we came back the first time, but we then had a second tour where we went to Fredericton on the East Coast, and she was, you know, what, sort of 3, maybe about 3 at that point, and that was when she then picked up a Canadian accent. She's mommy, mommy. She's coming, mommy, all the time.
You, Rowan.
Not what it is now.
No. But again, she lost that fairly quickly when we got back, because we came back to Newcastle at that point, and of course it went out the window then at that point.
Yeah,
We got a completely different accent then.
Absolutely, yeah. So Rowan, can you remember the first quilt that your mum ever made you?
Ooh, I remember the sticky quilt.
The sticky quilt.
Sticky quilt.
She said sticky quilt. I was like, what?
I don't think that was the first one you ever made me, but that's the one that I remember first. And that was the quilt you got when you were poorly.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that between my brothers and I, we would faux illness to get access to the sticky quilt. Because the fabric was great. It had kind of little smiley faces, but actually kind of, I think they had face masks on, some of them, or they looked kind of like.
I'll have to have a look. I still have it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. They were definitely in hospital. They were hospital in faces, weren't they? Yeah. Actually, quite appropriate. It's got face mask on now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what my memory of it is. But yes, I remember the sticky quilt, and then I remember. You made I was very spoiled when we came back to the UK, and I had a beautiful it was Laura Ashley ballerina themed bedroom, which it was lovely. And so I think you made a quilt out of the Laura Ashley fabric to match to the I had a canopy over the bed that you'd made. Oh my God. Totally by hand as well.
Wow.
Extra thing. And then it was great for 2 years, and then all of a sudden I got to 9, 10, and I went, I hate pink, I like lilac. So the entire thing had to change. It was mum pulled out some sort of Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen sort of every 3 years, changing rooms. It was I'd come back from the school trip and the whole room would be changed. But yeah, that was a really that was a beautiful quilt. I don't know where that one is. You've still got that one. You must have that one somewhere.
It's one of the few I did keep, actually. I kept the drapes, and I kept the quilt. But there is a story to that quilt, because I actually started the quilt before we went to America.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I started it beforehand, and it was ballerinas, and I hadn't fussy cut the ballerinas out, and I decided halfway through making this quilt that I should have fussy cut the ballerinas. So I unpicked it all and fussy cut them all again.
So Meg's got a question.
What is fussy cut? What is that?
You don't know what fussy cutting.
I failed as a mother. That's it.
Emma. How do you not teach you now? What
no business being on this show.
Hold on a minute. Rowan, do you know what fussy cutting is?
No, I was just smiling and nodding.
Yes, that's all right then. We've both failed as mothers.
Right. So if a fabric has a motif on it, say, in this case a ballerina.
Mm-hmm.
You can cut your patchwork square out so that the ballerina is the focus of the square. You haven't chopped a leg off or an arm off or something, So you waste more fabric because you have to cut around the motif and make sure it's centered in your particular shape, whether that's a square, a hexagon, or whatever. So, but it looks better when a theme fabric is actually fussy cut. Not always, but for the most part it does. So having made the quilt first time, then realised actually that's what I should have done, I unpicked it all and redid it. And actually it was at that point, it was all fussy cut and ready to be made into a quilt, and I took it with us to America to do that. And I quilted it twice on a domestic machine and unpicked it twice because I didn't like what I did.
If I did something like that, I'd be like, oh, that'll do.
Yeah. So that one was one of the first ones that ever got long-armed by somebody else. So, yeah.
See that, Mum, that really resonates with a couple of other projects that you've worked on for me in life, i.e. my wedding outfit, which
oh yeah
made again and again. Until it was
doing. You got to do it right.
Perfect.
Yeah. So no, that did actually get long on quilted. But do you remember in San Jose they had the little farm, the little city farm?
Yes, and you were the worm lady.
I was the worm lady. So what do you remember about me being the worm lady?
That's not a nice nickname to have.
That's nice.
She got really into composting, which is the obvious thing that you pick up as a hobby when you move to America. I've no idea. And yeah, she got really into composting, and she made this worm, this 6-foot fabric worm, and she came into school and taught the kids about composting with this fabric worm.
Did it have a name?
I don't know. Did it have a name? I just remember you were the worm lady.
The worm.
Yeah. It's vermicomposting, isn't it, with worms? Yes, yeah. And you know, I was really into it. And you know, living in America, and I bet living in Canada as well, we had access to all the craft shops that we wouldn't have had at home in the UK. Yeah. We didn't have any, you know, Hobby Lobbies or Michael's or Joann's, or none of that in the UK, was there? Megan, you're probably too young to remember this, but so I mean, what's the one we have now? Hobbycraft, isn't it? Yeah. Well, we didn't have Hobbycraft until the mid-90s. So when we were living stateside and in Canada, for me, though, Michael's, Joann's and all those places were like heaven.
Yeah, and Walmart.
Yeah, you could get all these craft supplies. It was like amazing to get these craft supplies. So I was able to pick up all these tiny little packets of food that, you know, that look like tins of beans and things like that. And then I use these toy foods to teach the kids what they could put in the compost bin for the worms and what they couldn't put in the compost bin for the worms. So, you know, big slabs of meat, you know, chops and stuff like that, they couldn't put in. They couldn't put milk in, but they could put, you know, vegetables and stuff in. So the kids loved it. Come on, you loved
it. Did you love it, Rowan?
Just nod.
I don't remember disliking it. I just remember you being the worm lady. And you know, that's that's about it.
And I was known, if you went to the supermarket, I was called out once or twice by kids who would turn to their mums and say, look, it's the worm lady.
It could be worse things, I suppose.
So to put that into perspective, I don't know how, I know how I got into composting, because when we moved there were just, San Jose City were introducing lots of new bins, recycling bins. They had a new recycling service, and you got free compost bins if you actually attended a class. Oh. So I went along and joined this class, and cut a long story short, it was a teacher of that class that got me into long arm quilting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't think she'd ever watch this, but Sarah, if you do, you're responsible for everything I've done since for the last 20 years.
Well, in that case, I think she'd be very proud, actually, to have set you on that road.
Yeah. Yeah, but as part of it went on from there. I took the class, and then you could take a further class and become a master composter. Nice. And to do that, it was free education, but in return, you had. She's laughing her head off. Look,
I'm a master. Not only am I a master quilter, but I'm a master composter as well. That sounds a bit rude.
You had a master composting class, so I have a certificate and all that. I hope I could get it out.
Put it on paper
in the filing cabinet.
Oh lordy!
You had to do community service in return. So I had to go and do, I think it was 25 hours community service, which meant I went around schools and taught the kids about composting. So
okay. You didn't just do it out of the joy of your heart then?
Well, no, not really.
Rowan's whole life is a lie.
She also came in once and pretended to be the queen.
Oh yeah, at school. Yeah. The kids loved that as well, didn't they?
Yeah, you did do that, which was quite good.
That was on a quilt. Do you remember that? That was on the magic quilt. That was a quilt that had a map of the world.
Oh yes, yeah.
And it was like a magic flying quilt. So all the little kids. But bear in mind, you were only sort of 5 and 6. You were little. And so I took it in to you, and I took it into Connor's cooperative play group as well. and the kids loved it. They sat on the quilt, and then we flew to England, and then when we had tea, we had a pot of tea and
with
Queen. Cute.
My lighting is terrible. I'm going to
pull that down.
You've got a lovely halo effect going on there. So can you remember your first quilt?
I think I still have it. Is it the pastel green and pink one? Do you have it?
I do have it.
Oh, I actually didn't see it down there.
I took it out.
Yeah, I remember this one.
It's better.
So you remember these, Tracy? They used to come
as
a printed panel.
Episode 1 or 2 or something, didn't we?
Yeah, printed panel, and then you got jelly roll strips that you cut up and put together with it. Yeah, it's looking a little bit faded.
It is faded.
It's quite faded now. It used to be a much brighter quilt than that. But
when did you give this to me? I can't even remember.
I don't know. Is there a label on it? Did I label it?
Yeah, there was a label.
I didn't label it.
There was one that had a label.
Oh, maybe it's fallen off.
Oh,
no label. Anyway, yeah, I think that was your first one.
So what did you think when you got your quilt? Can you remember what you thought when you got it?
I can't remember getting this one. I remember do you remember I went through that orange phase and I painted my whole room orange and I had like orange bed sheets and everything. I was obsessed. And then I said I needed an orange quilt for it as well. Yeah. And you made one for me, and that was when we lived in Winchester.
Yeah.
And I remember you took loads of photos in the garden of that one. Yeah, I remember getting that one more than this one because I think I was too young.
Yeah, literally
too young for this one. But yeah, that one was really good as well.
But then she, like Rowan, she went through phases, but then we went through the phase where it had to be a shock of all shocks, a shop bought quilt cover.
Hey, that was one time. I got it for Christmas.
Yeah. So it's not interesting, really. So, having something homemade as opposed to purchase, was that something you didn't like then, both of you, or?
Well, I think it's interesting, isn't it? Particularly, I don't know, 90s and early noughties. It was such a commercial, consumerist. I don't know, there's adverts all over the place. So I can imagine probably being influenced somewhat by, don't really want something naff that's been homemade, want something that's on the telly, you know?
Yeah.
Which is so, when you look back to things like that now and just go, gosh, it's because those quilts the memories of them last so much longer and, you know, so much richer and, you know, all the love that's been poured into them. But yeah, no, I probably was like,
I've seen all sorts goes into them when you're making them sometimes.
But yeah, I can't imagine probably being quite like, Mum's made me a quilt for Christmas, brilliant. But now I'd love it.
I'd rather have the homemade ones now. Like even going to uni, when I was like going to halls and stuff, just putting the quilt on the bed made it feel more homey. Yeah, and I know everyone would always come into my room and they'd be like, "Oh my god, that's so nice! Like, where did you get it from?" They're like, "Oh, my mum made it." And even Jake was saying the other day that he's in an officer's mess, and all the other officers come into his room and they're like, "Oh my god, mate, I love your quilt."
And that made my day when he came home and told me that. He said that one of the officers had said downstairs when they were having dinner or something, you know, "Oh, you should see the quilt that's on Jake's bed. It's amazing."
Yeah, it's the envy of the mess, apparently.
I had really similar experiences. So I lived in a communal warehouse, an artist warehouse, for the first year I lived in London, which was an experience, and it was an experience that should have only lasted a year, and I was glad it did.
So you had your own room.
Had your own room. So it was Ben, my husband Ben and I shared a room, and there were 15 other people there. Everyone was creative, so everyone was an artist or a musician or whatever.
A lot of personality in one place.
Too much. Honestly, too much personality. No, it was really good. We met some of our best friends living there, and a fantastic way to kind of, you go to a big city, meet, you know, kind of got a pre kind of made family sort of setup, which was lovely. But exactly the same. I remember people from the warehouse coming in and sort of introducing themselves, coming to see the room, and we had the quilt that you'd made, the Ginger's Secret Garden one, which is my favourite quilt Mum ever made me, actually, which is that's an old quilt now.
It is an old quilt.
Yeah. I don't know where it is. Go dig it out. It's got batiks, so it's really kind of hippie, because I went through a hippie phase as well, and so it's this kind of lovely batiks with all these, I don't know, what's the pattern on it, Mum?
I think it's called Wheel of Fortune. I think it's called that. I'd have found it's the one where you've got. I made it look like flowers, but it like petals of a flower, or is it called Rolling Wheels or something like that? It's a central block with squares that go out around the outside of it.
Well, if you can find it, Rowan, dig it out and take a quick photo for us.
Yeah, I will do. But that was that matched the vibe of this warehouse so well that everyone's like, oh my God, where did you get this quilt from? This is amazing. I said, actually, it's my mum. She's a quilter. And they were like, your mum's a quilter. And you got all this automatic like street cred amongst all these kind of London creatives for all of your fantastic quilts. So yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, good.
And it was so you had a shared kitchen space and bathroom space and oh my God,
yeah. So they were old, they're commercial warehouses, proper old commercial warehouses, and there's actually kind of several enclaves of them in London, but we were in one in Tottenham in a place called Fountain Road, and there was typically what you did is gutted all the kind of what was empty warehouse, and then they would build in stud walls and so forth and make kind of rooms for people, so everyone had their own bedroom, and there was a big open living space, and then there was this huge kitchen with 2 double cookers and 2 massive fridges and that kind of stuff, and then the bathrooms were there were 2 shower cubicles and 2 toilet cubicles and so forth, and it was great. Had loads of parties. It was great for parties because it was a warehouse and you could do that, and met loads of really, really cool people. But
did you find that being around all those sort of creative people, did you find that you sort of fed off each other creatively wise? Or
I mean, Ben more so my husband more so he's a musician, and actually the reason that we went and lived in that warehouse anyway was because he was doing some music with one of the bands that were living in a warehouse next door, so we found out about it through his kind of musical connections. And as soon as we moved in, he was kind of doing tours with people, so he was kind of he did a tour with Pete, didn't he, where he was went around Europe, and he went to Austin and Texas to do South by Southwest Festival with some people from the warehouse and all sorts. So yeah, and I mean both his best men at our wedding were musicians that we met there. So yeah, it was brilliant. But living with, as I said, 15 people, after university, there's only so long you can do it for.
Even 5 people last year at uni, that was enough for me. We were 5 girls. Oh my God, never again.
So did you find with 5 girls, because I live with 5 girls, cleaner or
disgusting? Some of them the worst cleaning habits I've ever seen in my life, horrendous.
Really bad.
We were really was it you or was it Phoebe's dad that came and hoovered the carpet? And it was you. Mum hoovered the carpet on the stairs, and one of my friends came out and went, never knew that was blue.
Oh my God.
It was foul, disgusting.
Yeah, some of them horrible.
It's really bad.
In the kitchen, on your fridge, they had a chart.
Oh yeah,
called the Chunder chart.
Everyone has that.
You had one too?
Yeah, only in first year though, and you would tick it off.
Every term, so everyone had it was like a term and a tally. So first term, second term, third term. But we had that, and then we also had, because we were in Bristol, we had the Jason Donovan, which is the best kebab van. The Jason Donovan, and so you had the Chunder chart and then the Jason Donovan chart. So it was kind of what have you had more of this? You've been sick more times after a night out. Kebabs.
That's gross.
Oh, we brought them up well.
I don't drink, so she said, yeah, she didn't hear that from me.
You don't
Yeah, your fridge when you left had a bit of a health hazard, didn't it?
So I left for lockdown first because Dad was like, come home now because I feel like we're going to go into lockdown. So I left, and before I left I emptied out everything in my fridge, threw it all away, everything in the freezer, emptied my room out, all of this. And then I went back halfway through lockdown because I needed some books that were there for my dissertation. And then me and Dad were just walking around the house, and it was disgusting. It was really messy. And then just on the off chance, I opened two of the other girls' fridge. I don't know why I did it. Something in me just told me to do it. But they'd left everything in their fridge during lockdown. So I think about a month and a half had passed, and it was covered in green fuzz, like blue fuzz. Like, I've never seen anything like it. My dad was literally like, "Are you joking me?" Horrified. And then I got home, and you were like, "Meg, you should have got rid of all of that for them."
You leave it.
Out for them.
They left it. I know.
Clear a fridge out for us.
I said to her, "You should have just got a black bin bag and just swiped it in." But she was like, "No,
it gave me great pleasure
to
think of her cleaning it when she did go back. I wish I'd taken a photo of it. It was horrible.
Yuck. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, I never experienced that. I mean, I did go to university, but I wasn't in halls or anything, so I never experienced any of that. So.
I didn't go to university, so I never came across that either.
Yeah.
If you had gone, what would you have studied?
Me?
Yeah.
I was going to go to university.
You were going to do geography?
No, I was going to do something really, really useful, like it wasn't economics. It was like media studies or something like that. It was something really
niche.
Yeah, it was. And I was going to Worcester. I had a place at Worcester, in actual fact.
Like the sauce.
Yeah, and then I trashed my A levels. I blame Martin. Completely.
He trashed his too, so.
And then I don't know, for some reason it never occurred to me to even think about going to do clearing or anything like that. So I just went out and got a job. And
anyway, right. So let's get on to a little bit more topical subject, shall we? So crafting in general. So Megan, you have just started knitting.
Well, actually, she started doing some sewing. She wanted to make some pouches, so she made a couple for birthdays, didn't you, for friends and things, and then she decided to make, have you got your little red one?
Oh yeah, I made,
so she made a little red one.
This one is my makeup bag.
Ooh,
wow,
pretty.
And it's just got a zip at the top.
So she chose the fabric, and then I don't know if you can see it, but
Mum wasn't happy to give me the fabric because she wanted to make a top out of it, and I was like, I want to use it.
So she's actually done some quilting on it as well. She did some straight line quilting.
Oh, well done you.
Yeah, and she put the zip in, so she did really well.
The whole time Mum was like, "You're doing this, do this, do this." So it wasn't like I did it myself. She was over my shoulder the whole time.
But she still did it, so yeah. So having done that, she then decided is this one named?
Yeah, this is Gloria.
So that's Gloria.
No,
hang on. What was that one called? The blue one?
Oh, I haven't named that one.
Oh, right. So then
this is the big one.
Oh, that's good.
My wash bag.
Wow, that's a humongous one.
Yes.
Yeah, it's bigger than my head.
It's called Gloria, and she's a big girl.
Dude, she's about 5 weeks. That's rude.
So why have you called them those names?
I don't know why. It was in lockdown. It was a strange time for me.
Yeah,
I was very bored.
Brain in action.
So she chose the fabric for this one. Before lockdown, we went to Bath, and she chose this fabric, and then she quilted it as well.
Oh, it's lovely. Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you do that on the domestic machine or on the long arm?
I did it on a domestic machine.
That's the one that sits on the table.
Okay, yes, that is what I did it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's Gloria. So Gloria, when filled, weighs an absolute ton.
I just put this inside of this one though as well, so that's why it's a bit bigger.
Great stuff.
Yeah. So then having done that,
you kept those.
She kept those. And then she decided that in the next lockdown, she wanted to do a bit of knitting. Do you want to show your knitting?
Yes, I posted one because it is, I hope Evie doesn't watch this. Do you think she will?
She'll only watch it if you tell her.
Okay.
Perhaps not then.
I sent one to my friend as a Christmas present.
It's no good whispering if she's watching it.
I just won't tell her about it. And then I sent that to her for a Christmas present, and then I started to make a hat, and then I wanted to knit another scarf for my friend Darcy, so that's this one. But it's not finished properly.
Oh no, very nice.
Lumpy.
So we've got to weave in her loose ends. Put it on around your neck and model it, and then model it.
Really nice.
Oh, and free.
Oh no. It's okay. So I chose we went to Bath again, didn't we?
We did.
Right. That's super chunky, isn't it?
A bit bumpy.
Yeah, that's a super chunky, and it's just a knit one, purl one.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Love that.
Very nice.
It up really fast.
How did you find that? Did you find it easy to do, or was it?
I don't mind it so much. It's nice, easy to do in front of the TV, which I quite like to do at the minute. So I think I got through the first ball in like a night because we put this really boring film on. So yeah, I don't mind it. I do find it easier with the smaller ones because I don't have to sort of go like this as much.
Right.
So that was okay.
Right. So is this going to be the start of a new passion, possibly?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I just like to. It relaxes me. I find I get a bit anxious sometimes, and I find sometimes when I just sit there and knit, it sort of calms me down a little bit.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah. But you've been telling me for ages, even when I was at uni. I was getting stressed about stuff. You're like, you should start knitting, it'll help you. And I'd be like, oh no, I'm not going to start knitting. But it has helped me a lot, I think.
And you've started on a hat, haven't you? So the hats, have you got your pattern?
Oh yeah.
Just pop and get your pattern. So she decided she wanted to make a hat, but she wasn't going to do just an ordinary hat. She decided that she was going to do
a knitted bucket hat.
Oh, cool.
I'm not going to put the button on. But that's the shape it'll be.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Right, it's got all my notes on there as well from where I've had to keep track of stuff. It hasn't really taken shape yet. It looks like this.
Ooh. So you've gone from chunky to double knit?
It's an Aran weight, actually. It's an Aran weight wool, and then she's put a strand of mohair. So
whoa, straight in there.
Yeah.
She went for it. Looks like it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I like the colour.
Thank you, but it's taking a longer time than the scarf, so
it's on smaller needles. That's why.
Yeah, they're really quite small.
And there's more stitches.
Yeah, and I have to count them all and go round a few times, and it's a bit more complicated, isn't it?
So she has to concentrate on that one a little
and
bit
Granny
more.
And Mum have to fix my mistakes all the time.
That's good. That's good that you've got someone to help you. Yeah, good. So Rowan, what have you done?
Oh, I knew this was coming. I've never made anything. I made one quilt.
You did make a quilt when you were 8.
I did when I was 8. I did. I've actually got that somewhere as well. You gave that to me last time. I don't remember making it. I don't think I made much of it.
You actually made all of it. I refused to do any of it. I like Emma, I said do this, do that, do the other, so and then you did it.
Well, I mean, there you go. I've done it once. Who needs to do things twice? It's like I ran a half marathon once.
Did it?
I need to do it again. So no, unfortunately, I get the relaxation thing, and I do a bit of colouring in sometimes. Recently got into puzzles, but no, I think I'm too much of a perfectionist to let myself get into that kind of stuff. I think I'd find it stressful. But I used to find this with art at school. So it would if something went wrong, I'd just go, nah, leave that, won't do it anymore. So anything too crafty, I find it can be a bit too triggering if it doesn't go the way I want it to go.
Right. But you are an artist. You studied art at A level.
I did, and then I did history of art, because writing about art there's far less room for error if you're just writing about it than doing it. So yeah, but no, I have always loved art in general, and used to do lots of sketching and so forth, but nothing's ever. I actually had a look at my sketchbook the other day from A level. Nothing is finished. It's like I'd start something and then just go, no, can't be bothered, won't finish that. So one tiny mistake or something like that and I wouldn't do it. So yeah, have had to find other things.
Mistakes are good though. Mistakes are good because you learn from mistakes.
Yeah, you do if you keep doing it, Mum, but see, the thing is I never do, so
yeah, just move on next.
Well, I think actually Dad's got a funny phrase that he said to me a few times: if at first you don't succeed, destroy all evidence you ever tried. And I think I've taken that a little bit too heart.
Okay, but I mean, Tracy, because you're quite a perfectionist, aren't you? Do you find it stressful to get everything, to get it right?
Do I find it? Yeah, sometimes I do, but not so much now, because now I'm older. I kind of just go with it. If it's not quite there, I think, you know, well, hey ho. It's the same as when we had, if you have people in the house, when I was younger, if they came in to do a job, you know, a tradesman came in to do a job, I used to get really upset if the job wasn't done properly. Whereas now, if it's not done quite right, I can look at it and say, oh yeah, Bob did that, didn't he? So now I look at it slightly differently, because it's got a story.
Yeah.
You know, so and it's not worth stressing over things, is it really? You know, so life's too short to start stressing. But I do the best I can, and if I can't do it any better than that, then I can't. So move on, basically. But you have actually done something. I came to London 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember what it was, and we went to the weaving place, which I've forgotten the name of now.
There you go.
So you have done something. So we did some weaving.
So we did.
Can you remember the name of the place?
It's the London Loom, and you should leave their Instagram handle on this, because they do some. Or I mean, the class was brilliant, wasn't it? You got
it was really good.
It was like a 2-hour class.
Yeah, you can book for 2 hours. We had a loom each next to each other.
Yeah.
And there was a whole rack of different wools that you could go and choose from. Yeah. We chose to work in the same colour palette, but did our own thing.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember the name of the lady, but she was really good, and she took us through and said, this is what you're to do.
Yeah.
And then basically that was about 20-30 minutes maybe at the most, and then you were just left to weave.
Yeah. So you can you just keep adding on, you know, new bits, don't you? You picked whatever you want, and you could do a run and then add on some more stuff. So we did that, and then you took away the thing. What were they? You kind of come out with this long.
Yeah, these. I reckon we had probably 3 meters of weaving between us.
Yeah,
we did a lot.
Quite a lot. And then surprised me with some pillows that you've made. And actually, there's this one. There's a couple like that, and then I've got this really cool one.
They're quite narrow, so they're not full. They're not like 16 inches. I think the loom, the piece that came out was probably about 14 inches, and then you had to cut off the raw edges. So you're only talking a 12-inch, kind of 13-inch pillow.
That's so nice.
And then this one, you cut up bits of which I really like this neon pink that we put in it as well.
Yeah.
And then you've added some cork fabric, some snake plant things, because I've got snake plants in my house, and maybe these lovely pillows.
Hey, look there, see, they're fussy cut. See, those snake plants are fussy cut.
That's fussy cut.
I see. So it's like the focal point.
Yeah, so it's in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, actually, no, I have done something. But that was, I mean, I did the start. You took it away and made
it. You like the creative bit, but the bit that actually the drudgery of making it into something left to Mum.
I will let you into a small secret. My GCSE final piece, for which I did get an A star. Now the question is, did I really get the A star, or did Mum? Because actually, do you know what? Da Vinci.
No, you directed me. I only did what you told me to do.
Da Vinci had people that.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was like a Leonardo apprentice.
I had decided that I was going to do Chuck Close, and I don't know if you know Chuck Close's art, but he is a photorealist artist from sort of 60s to 90s that did those kind of. And anyway, he, I think he had an accident, and then he paraplegic, couldn't do the photorealism anymore, and then started. Basically, he had to attach the paintbrushes almost to his arm and do these kind of huge canvases that were built up of dots, right? So when you stepped back, it was still photorealist. Anyway, amazing artist, got really, really inspired by him. And I thought, I'm going to do Chuck Close. I'm going to do my face in this kind of pointillist style almost. So I bought a 2 meter by 1.5 meter canvas.
It's huge.
Ginormous. And I thought, yeah, I can definitely finish that. And obviously the dots are tiny. And so I remember having a total meltdown the day before it was due in, and there's like half this canvas left to do. And it's one of those moments, Mum just comes in like Superwoman, like hairs up like this, glasses on. She's like, stop crying. Just stop crying. And God knows how long we must have been up finishing
that. We were up all night, basically.
Yeah, up all night finishing that. But yeah, I hope they don't retract my A star.
I think you're safe, Rowan, don't worry.
So, you'd already, everything was sketched out, and
I projected what I wanted to do and I'd drawn it out and then projected it on. But yeah. And then I painted a door. Then we had to go and buy a door from B&Q.
She decided to put a piece of artwork on a door.
Well, yeah, that was Charles. I think it might be Charles Demuth, that artist. I can't remember. Again, he did some really cool, quirky, weird stuff on doors and found objects and things like that. So I thought, I'll do that for my final piece. My husband, on the other hand, was really efficient. We went to school together and we were in the same art class in year 11, and he decided that he was going to do Banksy. So also got an A star, but for spending 20 minutes on Photoshop. That was his final piece. So there you go. He done some kind of Banksy religious message where he just had a church and then put some sort of sign at the front of it, didn't he? So he was very, very, very different approaches, but same grade.
Someone said to me yesterday, with art A level and GCSE and stuff like that, it's not about how good the art is, it's about all the writing that you put next to it and how much you can
Nope, too late now. Sorry. You've done it.
Your way through it. It's just all the writing.
No, I mean, that is totally true. He kind of totally made it all up, and it was had all of this theory behind it and so forth. And yeah, me and Mum sweating doing our chuck notes and pen and Photoshop.
I don't know if you used to do this, Emma, as well, but Steve and myself, my husband and I used to have this challenge between us when the kids had a piece of art-based homework to be done, and it might not necessarily be in an art class. It could have been, a project. You had to build an air raid shelter or a 16th century Tudor house. Yeah, I thought the competition was it wasn't the children that did it. It was between Steve and me as to who did the better homework.
Yeah. And the thing we've got 3 children, and you've got more, but they all did the same thing as they went through the school. So you had to do the same project 3 times over. So by the time we got to the 3rd one, it was just like, no, it's your turn. No, it's your turn. No, I'm not doing it. I did the last one. You're doing it. So we end up tossing a coin to see who would have to do the 3rd one.
The last one we did was Christian, your younger brother, Rowan, when he had to do a 16th century Tudor house. And so I thought, oh, brilliant idea. I'll use shredded wheat. The little tiny little shredded wheat. They look like really tiny. And I thought, brilliant, I'll use those for the roofing tiles. Which was brilliant, except my friend came around with her dog and the dog ate it.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh.
That literally was a case of the dog ate the homework.
That's brilliant.
Oh dear.
That was Rufus.
Rufus.
So anyway, so I think we're going to go into lockdown again after Christmas. I can see it coming our way. I think that could well be the case. So do you have any lockdown projects in mind?
Hey, Megan?
Anybody?
No, not yet. I was actually considering this morning. I was thinking, because there's always the bleak realization that you're not going to be able to do anything fun for another 3, 4, 5 months, whatever it is. And then I sort of start thinking, well, okay, maybe I could learn how to code. So I've got it in my head that I'm going to learn how to code in the next lockdown. I won't. I can tell you now I won't. But I'll have it in my head, and I might sign up for one of those free Code Academy things. And we might do one session, and I might tell a lot of people I'm learning to code, but not actually.
When you say code, what do you mean by code?
I was just literally asking Meg, what's code? What's that mean?
Computer code, like
computer coding.
Okay, right, yeah.
Yes. So my job is a product manager. I have to manage developers and designers to build apps and so forth. So, but I don't actually code them myself. And I've always thought it'd be really useful if I did know how to do some coding. But like I say, this one of many pipe dreams. I should write a book one day of all my pipe dreams, all the things that I said I'd do that I never did.
That's a good title for a book, actually. All the things.
Just to inspire other people that might actually do them.
Yeah, that sounds like one best.
What about you, Megan? Are you going to carry on with your knitting?
Yeah, I've got to finish my hat. I don't know what to do next. I'm thinking about making a sweater vest. Quite like a sweater vest at the minute.
Which means a tank top.
Tank top? Is that? Yeah.
I would call it a sweater vest.
Yeah,
you would call it. You would, but we would call it a tank top.
Yeah.
So Rowan, you're probably a little bit too old for Harry Styles, I would thought. But Meg, are you that?
I was a directioner when I was younger. Yeah, I did.
Have you seen Harry Styles in his latest oversized patchwork?
Yeah, you showed me this, and then I just recreated it, didn't you?
Yeah, I showed her a picture of Stuart in his.
I love it.
So do you girls like that kind of thing, or is it kind of?
Was this the Vogue shoot he did?
No, that's the one where he wore the skirt, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think he appeared. Did he appear on stage or something wearing the cardigan? I think.
I quite like his style.
He has a very eclectic style.
I really like it.
Yeah, because I think patchwork in general is going to hit the runway next year. I've seen quite a few things coming through with both tailored jackets that are patchworked and also knitted items. So
I try and find it. I keep seeing this woman on Instagram, and she does these big cardigans for like 400 quid or something, but they're like just chunky knit. I think this is her, Hope Macaulay. So she does stuff like this. I don't know if you can
twist it around a little bit. No,
I don't know.
There you go. Yeah.
And they're all just like really chunky knit, and I think they're really big at the minute. I keep seeing them in magazines and stuff. But they're just like huge knitted cardigans and things like that.
But what, £400 a
yeah,
cardigan?
so like this one, 320 for like that one.
Oh wow, Emma's doing some maths now.
So that's got like big balloon sleeves.
Yeah, like huge.
Colours.
Rowan, I'm still knitting a jumper that's taken me a year, darling. If I tried to do that, I'd be well out of pocket.
You've finished your jumper.
Yeah.
You finished Julia's scarf.
Yeah, but you appreciate that kind of stuff, do you? You like that kind of handcrafted look, or?
Yeah, I think I quite like that now. Actually,
you do now, don't you? You didn't, but
no.
What about you, Rowan? Do you like that kind of thing, or is that not your?
I may sometimes not. I like sports luxe. That's my thing. I like nice
sports luxe. That's a good phrase.
Sports luxe, hoodies and trackies and things like that, and not just in lockdown as well, before that as well. And I like a good pair of trainers and so forth. And sometimes a nice knitted cardigan or something like that can look quite cool with that kind of clashy thing. Looks quite cool. But I'm not a big kind of handmade style. I think the pieces you've made me that I like the most are in general black and simple.
Black and simple. Okay.
Mum has this tendency to do. She goes, and wouldn't it be nice if we just put a little bit of detail? And I've got no detailing. Stop with detailing. Like, put the embroidery down right now. I'm like, done. She's like, it's not done. It needs something. It needs nothing more.
Embellishment.
Get a bling.
Yeah. A zhuzh.
No bling. Right. Oh well. Anyway, do you have any questions you want to ask us?
On a scale of 1 to really disappointed, how disappointed were you that I never followed in your footsteps in the craft?
I know the answer to this really easily, because I'm not disappointed because you haven't actually reached the stage where you want to do something.
I'm not angry. I'm just upset.
You're still expecting it to happen. I'm not.
Sure. As soon as you get, your own kids, it'll be, oh, I think I want to make so and so for so and so.
No. Then I'll go, Mum, wouldn't you love to make this? Yeah.
We're doing jigsaws at the moment. You would never have picked a jigsaw up this time last year.
What, Nanny Darby loves a jigsaw, doesn't she?
She certainly does. Yeah.
You do them all year, and then at Christmas she gets weirdly into them, like obsessed, and all she can think about for like 2 days is, I've got to do my jigsaw. The jigsaw's on the table.
I love a jigsaw at Christmas.
Yeah. Well, it is obsessive, puzzling. Me and Ben.
You've done a really nice one recently, haven't you?
Frida Kahlo, yeah. I've just taken it all down because I've got a friend with corona who I'm going to go and drop it off for from a very far distance.
Yeah.
So do that because she's isolating at the moment. But yeah, I had a lovely Frida Kahlo one, which was really good. And we started it last weekend, and then throughout the week, in between work breaks, because we're both working at home, we just come in for a little puzzle.
Nice.
A few bits and pieces.
Nice. You can actually competition puzzle. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, there's competitive puzzling. So I think you can either do it as an individual or you can do it as a pair. And well, I'm assuming you can anyway. I watched a film.
Just how fast you can do it?
Yeah, I watched a film on Netflix, and I think it's called Jigsaw or something like that. And in the film, couples sit at a table with a jigsaw, and the clock starts. You open the box, you tip it out, and it's the first to complete the puzzle.
That's what you and Dad.
Oh, that does sound good. So I'm gonna say it quite. He won't watch this, but I've got Ben another 2 puzzles, 1,000-piece puzzles for Christmas.
Excellent. That'll keep him quiet.
It will. Do you know what? I was quite surprised that he was so into it. I was really surprised. I thought, because I mean, he's so screen obsessed. Everything he does is on a screen, so I was really surprised. But he did really like it, and he wasn't. I don't think he was that happy when I finished it on my own last night, actually.
Betrayal.
Oh, yeah. You can't put the last piece in. That's all.
Hi Ben, it's chess. He loves chess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all he does is play chess.
You've both got Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does online chess. We play chess. He's obsessed.
He is. Chess books.
Yeah.
Queen's Gambit. He loved Queen's
Gambit was so good.
He got annoyed because he was like, everyone thinks it's really fashionable now, and I enjoyed it before then. And he was like, why is everyone getting obsessed with it now?
Stop trying to make chess.
Just love chess anyway.
One of your best men was you had 2 best men, didn't you? Your wedding, which is really quite unusual, but there you go. He is he a master chess player?
Oh, this is really bad because he's also my best friend. He was like a child chess champion.
Wow.
Yeah, like he's like a real he's also a beatboxer. You would have seen them do the beatboxing at the wedding.
Yes.
So he's also a really he's champion beatboxer as well. And has just he's crazy at chess. Actually, he did an online chess tutorial the other day.
That's what I was thinking. I think he's got a couple more lined up. So
tell Ben to watch
could I, because I'm looking for something. Oh no, for Christmas present.
You won't watch this.
Yeah. I can't. I mean, I don't know if he does it under Reaps 1 or if he does it under Harry F. I can't remember what.
He does it under Harry. Oh no, it was under Reaps 1, I think.
One. So he does some chess, online chess tutorials, and I assume they're open for everyone. I think they are.
No, it was open for everybody. It was a beginner's thing.
There you go then. This is. I mean, I'm a bad friend, aren't I? He's gonna chew me out if he sees this.
Or maybe see if we can put a link underneath, and if it's if we check that it's open for everybody, and we'll oh, that'd be brilliant.
Yay. Yeah. On just thinking about puzzling, GCHQ put out their Christmas puzzle yesterday morning, and how do you describe GCHQ? They're the British security service, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they have talking about coding. I suppose they do all sorts of things like that. But they put out this puzzle yesterday, and it's a bauble with a circuit board in it, and you've got 9 clues to fill in letters on the circuit board. Wow. So they're really quite challenging. There are 9 puzzles to complete, and I did 5 of them yesterday, and the other 4 I have no idea. And I went to bed last night very upset that I couldn't actually even think what they were.
Is this just to distract us from the truth, though?
Oh,
is that why they put it out? About why GCHQ are putting out puzzles?
Yeah. No, they've done it for a long time, apparently. But they do actively recruit. So I was thinking about, what do they want? A 60-year-old quilting lady?
Why not?
I think the least inconspicuous spy or intelligence
Absolutely.
ever met. Oh dear.
Oh, I don't know. Right, well, thank you girls so much for coming on.
Thank
really enjoyed having you.
Isn't that bad, was it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I wish I could do the same with you, Rowan. It's I'd like to give you a big hug, but can't
Yeah,
do
big virtual hug for
virtual hugs.
I know.
Well, we did actually see you a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? So
we put the tree up. You did help
the tree and put the tree up, didn't we? So that was nice.
So are you staying home for Christmas then? Is it just the two of you for Christmas?
Yeah, it'll be me and Ben for Christmas. We've got one friend who we will probably bubble with on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
But that's about it really, and she lives on her own in a houseboat. So I mean, everyone's just very being quite careful now because there's been such a rise in cases in London. So we will be really sensible. And hey, it's only a few more months, and then hopefully things will start to get back.
You got to. We can't let the side down now, can we? We've got to, keep on. So.
And are you still going to be sort of vegetarian for Christmas, or are you having a big roast?
Well, it's that's an interesting question. So, Ben always been vegetarian.
Yeah.
Never eaten meat, apart from a few kind of accidental incidents with a lamb samosa, which we won't talk about here. Another podcast. But I had always never really ate too much meat because obviously we eat the same food. And then at Christmas and things like that, I would come back and just stuff my face with turkey and blankets and that. This year, I went vegan for pretty much most of the year until like November. And then December's like, it's a cheese amnesty, right? It's just a it's just you got to accept it. So I have got a very, very stinky camembert in my fridge right now, which I've been tucking into periodically. And on Christmas Day we will probably have, so we actually usually do, which is a weird tradition that we've done for the last 4 years now, but we actually do beer battered halloumi. And the reason that we only have it on Christmas is because it's just incredibly bad for you. And it's like so beer battered halloumi, but it's really delicious, and the cheese goes really soft on the inside, and you get this crunchy beer batter. So we have that with some roasted veggies and a salad and things like that. So not very traditional at all, but we'll probably do that.
That sounds lovely though. That sounds really good.
Sounds good. Yeah, excellent.
Okay, well, just because you've been such a good girl, and because you've been a star on our show this morning, and we'll send you one as well, Rowan, so you don't feel
brilliant.
But you get a curly seams.
Oh
my
god. I want to thank my mum, my dad, everyone else.
Actually, I keep looking at my face because I think my face is about as red as my jumper at the moment. I look like a beetroot.
I will treasure it.
There you go.
Until it goes in the wash on this jumper, probably.
We'll send you one in the post, Rowan. So.
Thank you. You should use them as incentives for people to get their vaccines.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Curly seam sticker. When the better mugs come, we do have some mugs, but these were the first ones were not good, I'm afraid. So I had words with the printers.
You complained.
Pardon?
You complained, didn't you?
We did. But I'm sure we can send one your way.
I'd love that. Brilliant.
Excellent.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Not at all. It's been an absolute delight to have the pair of you. So
it's been lovely. I hope you have a lovely, lovely Christmas.
Yes, you too.
You too.
Take care.